And now, Pujyatman Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda commences tonight's satsang with the Sanskrit peace chant.
Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyati Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We begin with mystic song by Sri Swami Lalitananda, played and sung by Sri Swami Umananda and Rajneesh.
Our song tonight is called O Mighty Sage. Mighty Sage, adorations to you. You are our guiding light, dispelling the darkness, leading us to eternity. Beloved groom, we are in a dark night. Draw us to a new dawn, where the sun is eternal, above the clouds of despair. Almighty Lord, the tides come and go, but you are always near, like the moon that cannot part from the sky. O divine moon, we always remember your words of faith and love. Forgive our mistakes. Shield us from temptation. Pujyatman, protect us always, wherever we must go. Guide us. Whispers softly within our heart and soul. Om Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Shri Gurave We are recording from the ashram of our revered Guru, Pujyatman Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda in Miami, Florida. Today is June the 1st, 2021, Tuesday evening, and tonight Swamiji will be lecturing on the Yoga Vasistha. This is series 2018, class number 340. And now Pujyatman Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda.
Om Brahmanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasadrisham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Om. Adorations to Sadguru, who is Brahman, the giver of supreme bliss, embodiment of pure consciousness, one without a second, vast as the ether, infinite, eternal, beyond the three gunas and their modifications, the supreme preceptor. Yoga Vasistha, Nirvana Prakarana Purvardha, Section 87. King Shikhidwaja seeks instruction. You must realize the story of Queen Chudala and Shikhidwaja. You recall this story? Chudala wanted to give his spiritual insight into the purpose of life and how to attain enlightenment. But Shikhidwaja laughed at Chudala, that one who has not practiced Vairagya, still wearing royal, queenly clothes. He's talking about enlightenment. So I will not go into the past story. But in course of time, he himself develops a degree of Vairagya, but he doesn't know where to go for enlightenment. He's not drawn to Chudala because he could not receive inspiration from her. So he has been in the forest practicing very simple life, ascetic life. And presently, same Chudala, in the form of Kumbha Muni, is giving him teachings. But now Kumbha Muni appears, Chudala appears as a very great yogi and great ascetic, with the whole lineage of Narada's, being Narada's son, and receiving teaching from Brahma and all that. And now he is listening with great attention and with great reverence. It shows the workings of Maya. Give a person advice directly, but doesn't want to hear it. Speak of it artistically, not verbally. And verbally, of course, I'm talking allegorically. So, and then the same person begins to hear it. So I will not go into that, and now we'll, at this stage, section 91. The meaning of the parable of elephant from the Vindhya mountains. In the course of her teaching, she tells parables that an elephant that was in a position to destroy the hunter, but somehow he took compassion. Elephant took compassion on the hunter and let him live. Hunter, in course of time, planned to capture the same elephant. Now the elephant becomes completely helpless. What does that story, parable mean? That's what now Chudala is explaining. You are yourself that mighty elephant, each of you, elephant. Having tusks of dispassion and discrimination, viveka and vairagya. You were fettered by the chains of delusion, by that great hunter, ignorance. But you succeeded in breaking the chains. You became detached from your relatives and possessions. When you developed this passion, your powerful enemy, ignorance, fell, as it were, from a high tree. He was injured by such a shocking fall. You could have destroyed the enemy by listening to the instructions from your enlightened queen. The queen herself is giving a subtle scolding. And what she is pointing out is that an aspirant led by certain good karma faces a certain challenging situation, surrenders himself to God, and gets out of the challenging situation. Now, at that time, he has discovered amazing inner strength. He does not use that strength to intensify his sadhana. So at that time, the elephant had was in a position, the aspirant is the elephant, he was in a position to go further, to destroy ignorance, that is the hunter behind the elephant. When ignorance is destroyed by wisdom, it can no longer enchain one's soul by creating numerous chains of attachment and illusions. But you didn't attempt to destroy the fallen enemy, ignorance. To be satisfied with upper vairagya, that's being condemned. Upper vairagya means just ordinary vairagya, moving away from one situation to another. You have to direct your attention to bhava pratyaya and pratyaya bhava. All your experiences are in the realm of mental projections. So all in those experiences, no matter how much change can come, you don't In that change doesn't lie enlightenment. It's a karmic change. Enlightenment lies when you move away from the entire projection. Projection world is called pratyaya. When it exists, it's called bhava pratyaya. When it is transcended, it's called pratyaya bhava. So that state where now real vairagya is to have detachment towards the world of projection. That's called para vairagya. Ordinary vairagya begins to pave the way. But if you remain satisfied, that way becomes blocked as time passes by. When you continue to enhance your integral yoga, your surrender to God, if you continue to enhance, then comes a situation where that hunter would not escape. Hunter will be finished, sublimated. So the queen goes on telling, the hunter had fallen, but due to lack of paravairagya, you did not attempt to destroy the fallen enemy ignorance. Shikhidwaja had developed vairagya while in the royal status. But he wouldn't listen to Chudala for attaining paravairagya. That inclination was not there. You didn't attempt to destroy the fallen enemy ignorance. Therefore, the enemy hunter devised a plan to trap you by creating the trench of ascetic pride. You fell into the illusion of austerities. In brief, you are yourself that elephant. Your desires are the chains. Your enemy is ignorance, who is ever bent upon keeping you trapped. Your insistence on a life of austerity is the trench that the enemy has devised to keep you bound. The Vindhya mountains are the world process. Therefore, hasten to save yourself by getting out of this deep trench and destroy the enemy ignorance with the force of wisdom. Now, when he hears these talks, he becomes very inspired and he begins to endeavor to renounce all his possessions. How do you renounce all and attain paravairagya? That's what the theme is, to find the secret. Queen Chulada, in the form of Kumbha Muni, said, "O king, how is it that you did not listen to the teachings of Chudala, who is the best of the knowers of the self? You should have followed her instructions with devotion." You should have followed the path of absolute renunciation. But instead, you led yourself to the delusion of vain austerities. Instead of choosing the path of wisdom and being enlightened by listening, reflection, meditation, instead of following that, he chose the path of austerity, gaining psychic powers, as if those powers will enable a person to attain liberation. Powers don't lead you to liberation. Your powers are like your cell phone. Can catch the world from all over under your fingertips. You want to contact Alaska? Talk to a person. You want to send yourself to Alaska? All is possible. You want to find a material from Mahabharata, from Ramayana, go to Google, and I don't have to explain. All these are siddhis. Once upon a time, people worked hard to gain this extension of ability. And now so much progress. But where are these people from the point of view of attaining the purpose of life? Purpose of life is not just going on putting your finger from one news to another. Purpose is to throw away all computer chips. Each chip holds countless informations, countless topics, but don't get involved with that. That's called word process. King Shikhidwaja replied, I have renounced my kingdom, my home, all my subjects, my wife and relatives. Do you not consider this complete renunciation? Chudala answered, O king, all these objects, the wealth, house, land, kingdom, relatives, and numerous possessions did not belong to you in the beginning. You should renounce that which really belongs to you. The idea you have renounced these is an expression of egoism only. So it means real renunciation is renunciation of egoism. Have ego, but not ism with it. It's the illusory sense of me and mine, ahamata and mamata. And ahamata and mamata, renouncing ahamata and mamata. Think of it. Instead of ahamata, God's presence. You are instrument in God, of God. So who is working through you? God. Mamata, whose are your possessions? If what you think your possessions, they are all in divine hands. So as you move away from ahamta and mamata, you are progressing on the path of renunciation, sannyasa in a profound way. That's the purpose of sannyasa, initiation. You have not yet renounced that to which you are clinging. You are clinging to ahamata, mamata. Unless you renounce that, you cannot say that you have renounced all. The king said, then I am going to renounce the forest, the mountains, all the surrounding conditions. Does this complete my renunciation? Kumbha Muni answered, even these forests, mountains, trees, and charming scenes of nature didn't belong to you. They existed even before you came here. So please renounce that to which you are still clinging. After reflection, the king said, I will renounce the few possessions I still own. He is unable to understand what Chodala is asking him to do. And Chodala doesn't directly point out, because real spiritual progress is your understanding. A divine understanding cannot be given to you as a certificate. Thus saying, Chodala watches, and he now is exercising his effort to renounce all. And Chodala doesn't stop him. Thus saying, he collected all his belongings, kindled a fire, and threw them into the flames. While departing from his dear possessions, he uttered pathetic words. He threw away his different things, threw away his towel. But when he throws away, he also starts singing, oh towel, how much help you have given. So each act of renunciation is bringing a sense of sorrow, a sorrowful memory. You are intensifying memory after memory. How many things have I renounced? That's not true renunciation. However, he felt happy with the idea that he had attained complete renunciation. He goes on doing that, but at the same time he is happy that he is demonstrating to his guru, Kumbha Muni, that he is so bold and he can renounce all. Having destroyed all he possessed, the king said to Kumbha Muni, I have renounced all that was to be renounced. I have risen beyond the world of karmas. Kumbha Muni continued to watch the actions of the king in a disinterested manner. She did not stop the king from burning his belongings. She waited for a better opportunity to awaken a higher insight regarding the nature of renunciation. Section 93. Kumbha Muni teaches the secret of renunciation. Sri Vasistha continued, O Rama, then King Shikhidvaja, desirous of practicing supreme renunciation, set fire to his hut, which was made of dry leaves and grass. He threw whatever objects he possessed, including the clothes on his body, into the blazing fire to be consumed into ashes. seeing the vessels and utensils ablaze in the midst of flames, the king felt a sense of contentment. He thought now he had shown to his guru how bold he is. He looks at the face of the guru for appreciation. He wants to listen. Oh, what a great person. He renounced all. The king felt a sense of contentment, deeming himself to have attained the highest state of renunciation. King Shikhidhwaja said, O divine youth, alas, after a long time, I have succeeded in detaching myself from all the objects of the world. Behold, I have become a man of supreme renunciation, endowed with pure happiness. I have become truly enlightened. I have no use now for the objects of the world. These objects are the cause of bondage. As I renounce them more and more, I am able to enjoy increasing happiness. I am hastening my steps towards supreme peace. I am about to attain the highest bliss of the self. I have triumphed over the objects of this world. I am very contented. I feel I have accomplished supreme renunciation. Behold, the sky is the only cloth that covers my body. I have become absolutely free. Now tell me, is there anything more that has been left undone by me towards the perfection of my renunciation? Kumbha Muni replied, O king, as yet you have not attained the highest state of renunciation. Please do not delude yourself with the idea that you are enjoying the bliss of renunciation. There is yet something that you have not renounced. And without renouncing that, you will not attain the state of sorrowlessness. Shikhidhwaja reflected within himself and thought that the only thing that was left to renounce was his body. Therefore, he decided to discard the body by throwing himself down from a cliff. With this idea in his mind, he proceeded towards the cliff and stood nearby. Kumbha Muni now interrupted him, saying, O king, what harm has this body done to you that you are going to throw it down into a terrible pit? You appear like an enraged bull about to kill its own calf. This body is inert and innocent. It is nothing but gross matter. It is operated by you like a doll. It is ever ready to serve you in various ways without uttering a word of complaint. Therefore, why should you destroy this body? There is something else with you which is the cause of your sorrows. It lurks in your mind like a thief and is the cause of your mental agitations. Find that thief and punish it. Do not injure this body If a tree is agitated because of the gusty wind, it is the wind that is to be blamed, not the tree. In the same manner, there is something within you which agitates your body. That something needs to be found and renounced. If you renounce this body, you would be depriving yourself of the very basis of your spiritual movement. Without the body, you cannot practice meditation. You cannot practice inquiry leading to self-realization. Renounce that sinful enemy of yours which agitates your body in the same way as an elephant agitates a tree. By renouncing that enemy, you will accomplish the highest renunciation. But if you do not renounce that, then even after the destruction of the body, that enemy will give rise to new bodies through your future embodiments. King Shikhidwaja asked, O divine youth, tell me, what is that which agitates the body? What is that which is the seed of embodiment? What is that renouncing which all is renounced? Kumbh Muni explains, supreme renunciation cannot be accomplished by renouncing the body. The kingdom, the hermitage, and all other physical objects, by renouncing them you don't attain renunciation. But when the chitta is renounced, this is what we mean by renouncing bhava pratyaya. Chitta is the whole mechanism by which you experience the world of projection, just like you experience dream. All your experiences are always just like a dream. First point in your experience, it will not stay forever. You may think at one time, oh, your whole dream has been fulfilled. Your cherished wishes are fulfilled. How wonderful. But very next day, you have another cherished wish. All cherished wishes perish. So that's bhava pratyaya movement. Changing the condition in the projection. Changing your dream. That again, this is a very advanced state of study. In early state, changing is also needed. Allow your dream to change. Allow your karma to change from negative karma to positive karma. When that change occurs, you are in a position to wake up from your dream. Otherwise, you will not wake up. You are caught by one dream, led to another. But when you have good karmas, suddenly in your dreaming process, you get tired of dreaming. Say to yourself, let me wake up. You toss your whole dream away. Nothing of your dream was real. Tossing the dream away again has to be understood. You may not exactly get out of your dream, but you will look at your dream phenomenon distant from yourself. So when mind stuff is renounced, all is renounced. Because it is the chitta which is the weaver of the miseries of the world process. It is the bhava pratyaya. It is the chitta which is the seed of the objects of the world. When the chitta is renounced, all this is renounced. But in the absence of the renunciation of the chitta, it is impossible to attain supreme renunciation. Real renunciation is to move away from bhava pratyaya and reach the state of pratyaya bhava, where pratyaya, the projection, itself terminates. What is left is the truth, the shining screen. Chit. Chit is the truth. Chitta is projection-based interpretation of the screen. O King, the body, kingdom, and the objects of the world process become a source of misery only for those who have not renounced the chitta. For those who have renounced the chitta, these objects of the world are source of great joy. Ghat ghat mein hai sai ramta. Every object, every acting that you see in this show is nothing but the screen. Screen is the reality behind it. So all that go to constitute the show, ghat ghat mein, every countless parts, as it were, are in the show. But all parts have the reality, pure screen, pure chit. That's the meaning behind ghat ghat mein hai sai ramta. This body is nothing but a projection of the chitta. It is the unenlightened chitta which expresses itself as the mind sheaths, characterized by doubt and imagination, as well as pranic sheath, which sustains the life of the body. It is the chitta which plays different roles and thus is known by different names. It's chitta, this projection aspect that plays the role of intellect, ego, cosmic mind, which means intuitive intellect, prana, intuitive mind, and others. All your movement, jnana and ajnana, jnana movement, led by vidya, as well as all the low-grade movement led by avidya. All that happens is in the realm of bhava pratyaya. The enlightenment transcends both, vidya and avidya both. It is the chitta which is all that is. And by renouncing the chitta, all is renounced. Consequently, one experiences the infinite bliss of the self. Ordinary renunciation is a change of circumstances, creates change of karma. Sannyasa, the absolute renunciation, is not change, but the revelation of the truth, the revelation of the screen. Two ways you enjoy the cinema show. Change of the story. One story has become boring. Wait. Now it has become a good story. Joyous. Take more popcorns. But if you are wise, you get tired of watching. So where will this all finish? So that finishing stage, when the entire projection is withdrawn and you see just the empty screen, that's the most relaxing time. When the chitta is renounced, all the multiplicities of the world vanish. What is left is Brahman. Brahman is the screen. Pratyaya bhav, where pratyaya, projection, is completely transcended. Who is pure, taintless, and non-dual. It is the chitta that conjures the illusion of the presence as well as the absence of objects. There is always gain and loss, presence and absence of situations, relatives, circumstances. All that is the illusion created by the chitta. When it is renounced, one attains all that is to be attained. O king, your renunciation is not complete because you are mistaking the body for the self. And therefore, you are clinging to your unenlightened chitta. And with this, I will conclude for today. Om. Om. Ram, 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 Ram. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om. Prayer for shower of Karunamaya Ras grace of God over all of you, with the blessings of Shakti, Bhakti and Mukti. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukum Vabandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukh Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat.
And we conclude for tonight and look forward to tomorrow's lecture, continuing the story.
Oh, Shri Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai.
Thank you, Gurudev.
Thank you.